Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
Good morning, everybody. Cowboy here, and it is Thursday, 8:31 a.m. EST. We're getting started with the Algo Factory Live Lab. So thanks for coming. Do a like, subscribe, helps us out. To look in the description, there's a free algo. Click on that link. It's a quick video, shows you how I build an algo. Literally, I build one for you, and I show you how I turn it into code using Grok AI, and that can be the heart and soul of an agentic trading bot, an AI agentic trading bot. This is the beginning of that process. If you want to know how to do that, click that link, watch the video, and come join Algo Factory. We're going to be teaching people how to do all that stuff, all right? So let's take a look at silver. Silver is, it's been on a great run. Like it's gone up, let's see here, going back to the end of April 29th, the move up in silver was actually at a key point. We'll talk about that in a minute, but it's up 25%, 26.4, 26.3 to be precise. So, and since the recent bottom, it's quite a bit more than that. It bottomed out, let me see, back in March. And from that bottom, it is up 46%. That's a whopping 46. That's huge. That's a lot. That's a big move, guys. And it topped out just a couple of days, well, yesterday really, at $89, right? So now $96 is a key level. I've talked about this before. When silver broke down and tried to, it hit its all-time high, that was at 122, and then it broke down and tried to reclaim that high, right? At 96 is where it rejected and it kept going down. Well, the algo itself is showing that there's a lot more bullish moves, bullish sort of ticks here, those little triangles. That's a new algo I've built. And, it was in a very bullish state right here. Now seems to be moving toward, I'm sorry, let's correct that. It was in a bearish state here, or at least a suppressive state. All of the strong moves were pushing it down. Now we're seeing moves pushing it up. And that's, obviously that's on a 3-hour chart. So if you zoom in, you'll see a little bit different of a story, but the farther you zoom out, the bigger view you take, the more it matters for, say, the weeks coming, right? Well, right now, price is at, I would call it an algorithmic resistance. And I predicted this just on, Monday, Tuesday, that we'd see price kind of pull back and then head up a bit. Now, I'm just going to take a brief look over at the prediction I made for Monday. Let me flip the screen here. And the silver prediction, there you go. I called out a short, and lo and behold, it really played out. Look at this. Now, I figured it would bounce off of this kind of 89 level and then head down, right? Well, if you zoom in here, that's exactly what it did. It just did it a little bit later than I thought. This was the trade. It literally bounced right here and is heading down. It's literally where I said it would bounce, guys. Like I put my, where I would enter the trade. It's hard to see because of all the different gobbledygook on the screen a little bit, but that little wick up that happened on, what is this? Wednesday. That was a perfect entry to this trade, and it's halfway in a profit. So, I mean, that's pretty much what I planned, although I had predicted that it would happen a few days before. So obviously, I was a little early, but that's kind of, that's neither here nor there. That's how things work. When you predict something that's a few days out, it might happen a few days later. So, that's a win for us right there. So I'm just going to put that up on the Jumbotron for Algo Factory, guys, so they can see that. Okay, now I'm going to take a look at the stack here, go back to the original chart. We're going to see what the silver metal might do. Now let's just take a brief look. For the moment, I think it, yeah, I think you're going to see probably closer to the dotted line. Either one of these is a decent prediction. If you look right here, where it may just stay above 82, 83. It might see this dotted line right there. So if I were to take this other prediction and kind of slim it down a bit, this dotted line that I predicted looks like that might be the likely scenario. But if I were to unslim this other one here, it could also kind of break down and bounce roughly on 78. That can happen. So either just floats above 83 or breaks down towards 77 and bounces in either one of those places. I don't think we're going to see price go below 70 outside of a market shock, right? And I've been reading a bit about why the forex market is so quiet, and it seems that all of the markets are really stable right now. Although if something were to happen in Iran, that stability is relatively fragile. Events could change, but I think in the um, what we're seeing with Trump over in China is a clue that we're going to see stability for a little while, but who knows? I mean, we have another small country over in the Middle Eastern area in the Levant that likes to throw a wrench in the works. So it really comes down to whether or not that country can be sort of kept under wraps, if you will. So in the absence of a major disturbance, these supports should hold 77 and 70. We'll see. I don't know that we're going to see the lows at 60 again. Now, another reason we might see those lows is if the CME decides to go ahead and hike margin rates. There are always attacks on the price here, right? That can happen. And another reason that that's made possible is because money flows out of the metals paper markets, which really is what this price you're looking at is about. Real silver, buying it costs a lot more than what you see on the screen, right? Sure, spots like 86 right now. If you want to go buy silver, I think it's probably above $90 easily because you have to pay the premium. And we've seen premiums in excess of $10 and $15 in recent months, right? So the real price is different than the paper price. And a lot of times that gets manipulated because people head over to oil, right? And so we'll take a brief look at oil and understand that it's staying above 80. And I did say the new normal would be above 80. Now that can change, right? But as long as this business in Iran continues to be what it is, there's a good chance that oil will stay above 80. It just is what it is. And if that's the case, you're going to see some issues. You're going to see food prices go up. Gas prices are still the same. There's somebody was talking about how in LA prices were, approaching, like, I think it was Joe Rogan show, was saying the prices were at one point approaching $8. I'm hearing, definitely $7. Which is, pretty darn high. Once you have energy prices up in like that realm, a lot of stuff just gets really expensive. And so that being what it is, if there's volatility in the oil market, money leaves these metals markets to go play over there. And it's not going to keep the price up, right? So there's a lot of reasons for all of this happening. Let's take a brief look at Bitcoin before we move. Let's take a look at NASDAQ before we move over to the to the private live lab here. So this is my prediction just from the other day. Let's zoom a bit here. Pretty darn close. Look at this. I mean, it's happened in between my two predictions, and that's just from yesterday morning. So yesterday morning, I called that it would probably come down literally to the level. It just happened a little more quickly than I thought, but it really came down almost exactly to the level that I called out. Just so you understand, I know what I'm doing. Okay. There's no doubt about it. If I were to go over to the Monday look, watch this. Let's go to Monday. I called that it would head down and bounce at 28.9 and then head back up. Well, it bounced, but it bounced a little lower. It bounced towards the bottom of this range that I had kind of drawn out, which is at 28.6. Now, I did explain at the time that I wouldn't just willy-nilly enter a trade. And I called a few different, paths on Monday. And then when I came out on Tuesday morning, you'll see it. I did explain that, hey, this is the plan for me. I'm not going to enter right here at this 28.9. I'm going to let the algos sort of tell me what they're going to do. And I probably would have not, no one catches the bottom, right? So the bottom of this move, it's hard to see because of the notes on the chart. So I'm going to delete this. And the bottom, I would have won this trade had I entered at that point, but I don't enter that way. but the bottom was right there, right? So the trade would have withstood me simply entering at the pullback point that I mentioned, but I would have probably caught it a little higher than that. The way that I drew this is correct, but I probably would have caught it over here, but I don't want to change this chart per se. So this plan worked out. I would be well in a profit. I'd be sitting at probably 2.5 to 1 right now. And this doesn't look like it's slowing down, this NASDAQ. So I guess we'll just talk about the NASDAQ for now. This doesn't look like it's going to slow down. I don't think we're going to see this lower trade down here, which was just another plan that I had, right? So here I am doing this. I'm basically giving it away, giving away my intel for free. No, Algo Factory members are not just supposed to trade because I trade something. We're not a signal service, but I'll tell you what, I mean, I'm just pretty much giving it away right here. So, but we do this all the time. And in Algo Factory during the private live lab, which we're about to flip over to right now, you should understand that I look at like how the market has evolved overnight. And when I do that, I say, hey, you know what? I'm going to probably, take this trade or take that trade, right? Like I actually explain what my plan is, and everybody sees the trades or at least the setups I'm interested in taking at that time. So take that for what you will, right? People see the plan, people see the trades that I'm going to take, and they see the trades I do take, and they see all kinds of stuff that really is very valuable. So come on over to algofactory.tech, learn how to trade like a hedge fund pro. Links in the description for the free algo. If you click that, it's going to lead you down the path to find us, or just go to algofactory.tech. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. We'll see you on Tuesday. I'll put the market report out on Monday. That's the plan. Sometimes I do it on Tuesday, but expect it on Monday. If you want to be part of the email list that gets that market report, click the link in the description below for the free algo, and that'll put you on that list. Okay, it's free. All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget,
join us or die.
Just kidding, you're not going to die.